So yeah, I think the Vanguard high growth is a good investment, but of course it depends on your situation. If you are that type of investor that wants to buy and hold, and you're looking for capital growth, then it's definitely the index fund for you. In particular, if you are in Australia, like myself. But of course, you have to do your own research and figure out by yourself if you want to invest in this index fund or not. So I moved to Australia this year, and when I got here I was looking for investment opportunities. If you browse my channel, you'll see that mostly I've been talking about cryptocurrencies, and that's been my interest for the past few years. But given the current market situation in the cryptos, and given all the dubious projects that have been around in the cryptocurrencies and the extreme volatility, I like to move to a more regulated market, let's put it that way. So when I moved to Australia, I was looking for investment opportunities, and as a diligent investor that I am not, I went to Reddit, and on Reddit everybody was recommending the VDHG, so the Vanguard High Growth Index Fund. It's basically an exchange traded fund, which basically actually has a lot of percentages of the other funds as well. So if we actually go to their website, you can see that the allocation is basically very distributed, but they are mainly other funds. So you can see Vanguard Australian Shares Index Funds, or VAS, VIS, and so on. So mostly it's Vanguard Australian shares. So about a third of the fund, but of course there's also international, and there's even bonds and so on, about 7%. Today actually marks the third year to the day, so 20th of November 2017, it was when this fund was launched. And as of today, it has about $550 million under management, and that's Australian dollars. The management fee is 0.27% per annum, which is, I guess, acceptable, because this is a fund where you kind of buy and forget, so you don't need to rebalance your portfolio, you don't need to do anything. You basically buy the units and then they do everything for you. So this fee is kind of to cover those costs, so you basically have no worries. So they pay quarterly dividends, so 4 times per year. Last time they paid was in October 2020. At the time I didn't have so many units, so I got about $500 in dividends, which then I reinvested again back into the fund. Now, if you look at the performance, so over the past 5 years, you can see that the initial price was around $50, and then there was it was kind of grew a little bit, and then just before the end of 2019, it was at $47. But then from 2019 until basically when COVID hit the world, it kind of grew up to 60 Australian dollars. But then it crashed quite badly to $45 in March 2020. But since then, it's been growing steadily. Of course, there's some fluctuation, but the fluctuation is not as bad as if this wasn't an index, right? If this was an individual stock, it could have been much worse or better. Another thing you need to be aware about is that this fund, as it's high growth, has some risk, so if you have a low tolerance to risk, maybe this is not a fund for you. If you have a high tolerance for risk, but you're still on the safe side, because at the end of the day, this is an index fund, so tracks a lot of asset classes, you should be careful in investing in this ETF. But as I said, if you look around in my channel, you'll see that most of my videos are in the cryptocurrencies. And for that reason, my tolerance for risk is quite high. So even high risk ETFs such as this one, comparing to cryptocurrencies, it's like a bond. So my intention with this video was not to be so thorough covering this VDHG the Vanguard High Growth. This was more like an introduction if you are looking to start investing into an ETF and you are wondering if this VDHG is a good investment. I'm personally investing in it. I'm doing the DCA, so daily cost average. I started about in July investing into this index fund, and I've been investing basically every fortnight. So every fortnight I've been buying a few units, and yeah, I will keep talking about it in this channel. So if you are interested in hearing more about this VDHG or other index funds or even stocks, I will be looking for investment opportunities still in Australia. I'm new to the market, so I'll be also interested in knowing what you think about this VDHG. Do you think it's a good investment? Would you have invested in something else? Are you currently invested in something else? So if you're a beginner investor or you just want to tag along, please consider subscribing. I will be posting more frequently on this channel about investments in Australia, not only index funds, but wherever I come across. So I'll be focusing a little bit more in the tech and personal finance niche rather than cryptocurrencies. And I'll tell you why in a future video, why I kind of am abandoning the cryptocurrencies and why am I moving to a more stable, moving to more stable investment opportunities. So that will be it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.